We're standing south of Albuquerque on Interstate 25. We're looking east, and we see something that's reminding us a great deal of the Jordan Valley looking east. And these hills look an awfully lot to us like the area just north of the Dead Sea, looking over at Mount Nebo and Pisgah, the hills of Moab. And we find it kind of uncanny in terms of similarity. Nice green valley. The sun's catching those hills. They're about the right height for the hills of Moab. About the right distance. We're headed down to Las Vegas, which is about 20 miles south. Now standing on Highway 6. West, about 14 miles west of Los Lunas, and we're looking at the site that's popularly called Hidden Mountain, which is what we came to mainly explore. And you got a good view of it here in the afternoon sun. It's about 3:30 in the afternoon New Mexico time. And up on top, we hope to find some of the encampments and so forth. And we are looking southwest at this point. Okay, we're standing at the outcropping of rock that we assume has broken off from the top. It's down in this ravine that's I'm standing in. And here is our inscription of what's called in Hebrew the 10 words. And here's here's a very interesting feature of this to me. You start out, Ani, I am Jehovah, God, Eloheka, Asher, who, Yotzeka, brought you out of the land. And then notice this line, skip and go down here. This is the last part of Egypt, who brought you out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. And you go on and you get all 10 of the 10 commandments, until finally, I'll show you, here's one, do not covet your neighbor's wife. But look right here, this has been stuck in. Whoever did this got down a few lines, see these are spaced, and realized he had left out the first commandment. And so then he has, I am the Lord your God who brought you out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. And then he went, you shall not take the name of the Lord in vain. And he put back in here, see the little carrot sticking up here? He put in the first commandment. I am Jehovah, your God. You shall have no other gods before me. So I think that's kind of interesting that it's stuck in. Otherwise we'd have 9 commandments. The inscription is back down there that we filmed earlier, where I'm pointing down at the foot of the ravine. Our current theory is that whole rock up, kind of a marker or a gate as you would come up. If you pan behind me, it's a little bright. And it looks like that would be the way to go for water. You can trace it on down here and down and all the way. And that is the river where you see the mud banks. Can you zoom in on those, David?
Yes. And what's the name of the river?
Puerco?
Puerco. And that means?
Puerco, which means the pork river. What we're thinking about this inscription here would be the commandment in Deuteronomy says you will write these words which I've spoken to you right after, it's in chapter 6, right after the giving of the 10 commandments in Deuteronomy 5. It says you shall write them on the doorpost of your gate so that when you go in and go out you will be mindful of them. And it seems that would make sense, that there would be some sort of entrance here. We might be able to measure the camp anciently was considered to be 2,000 cubits from the living space. It might turn out that this ends up being the very perimeter of what you call the camp. Mm-hmm. And that's what you would technically call your gate.
I got you.
Here, Jen.
Somebody
put your tobacco
Thank
back
you,
in your
sweetie.
bag. Here.
These rocks lying here could very easily be columns that mark the entrance to the fortress. Just look at how they are lying in apparently a symmetrical order. This appears to be some type of receptacle for water or something. You can tell that it's carved also.
Okay, now we're looking northeast and mostly east. We're up on an outcropping that looks like kind of a watch post area to look down over the valley. And you see the hills again, which keep reminding us very much of the Moab area in Israel, across from the Dead Sea and the Jordan River area. And the way the sun's hitting them, everything is just uncannily similar. We've been there many times, spent many a day there and watched the sunset. It does look very much like it. It's very peaceful here.
I talked to one of the local people here today, and they told us that this rock at one time was covered in these inscriptions. If you'll see here, this is a boat, and beside it is a bird of some sort. We're not sure exactly what the bird is. Then if you'll look, right there is the bird. You get a good shot of it. And then there's this animal here that looks like some type of cat or something, but right here is this rock was covered with these animals, and here's a classic example how someone came in here and chipped out and took this home with them for whatever reason. This is another picture of an animal which is approximately 25 feet from the one that I showed you earlier.
Okay, as you can see, this is a meter marker. You can see the approximate size of this. We found in detail measurements that the scribe, or inscriber I should call him, or her, is being very consistent. The letter's height is 4 centimeters. The letter width is 3 centimeters, and the space between the lines is 4 centimeters. And he's very consistent. You can even see that visually. But we wanted to measure it. And this rock is lying exactly aligned east-west. So if we imagine it pulled up, this would have been a north-south entrance. It might have been that they picked this spot as a north-south entrance because of the alignment, and also the fact that they had this nice face to work on. Now up above me where Tim is, we're heading up the mountain through, if you look down where the green bush is over the side and down below, that's where the inscription was. And now we're on up. Actually, it's further down. But we're coming on up. And notice this path. This has been built. We don't know when or by whom, but it required a considerable amount of work. Like you lay a bed of crushed rock and flat rock. Very substantial path coming on up. And we're impressed with this path. Wishing we could find evidence that it goes back to the time of our people.
If in fact the arch down there where the Ten Commandments was the entrance, this would be the main entrance and exit to the fortress where they would carry their food, water, etc. in and out.
And you don't build a path like this unless you're going to be here a while.
That's correct.
This is two of our team members, Miss Sheila Bishop and Tim. What last name are you using? Martin. This is Tim Martin. Okay, you narrate it.
All right, no, I'm just shooting.
This is our, I have my shirt off, I don't want to be in it.
All right, well, just talk.
Well, this is our Some would call it star map. According to David Deal, it records a solar eclipse in Virgo and Libra in the summer sky, September the 15th, 107 B.C. And you can see various you can definitely see the dippers up in the corner there. And this is the eclipse right here with the planets. And this is the crab. So
You should have been on the other side, but
yeah.
you got shadows.
That's all right.
We're professionals.
Tim, I hope you're not asking me to walk to that edge. I don't know if I can stand it. I've got all kinds of other ways I prefer to do. Falling is one of my least favorite ways to die.
If you look at it this angle, behind you, but
Yeah, that's
yeah, so there's two people side by side.
These are rocks that weighed
you
100
can't
pounds
carry
apiece.
it down. Now if we had do you have your, we're on the upper west tip of our mountain, and we have another Paleo Hebrew inscription. It has the sacred name, Jehovah Eloheinu. Yahweh or Jehovah is our God. It's a pretty nice one, pretty clear. Same style letters as below. Just to show scale, I'll do what we did in a picture somebody took. That is my foot, my right foot. So, why proclaim Jehovah is our God from this great peak here? It's interesting. Somebody's put a metal pin here. There's a flagpole base over there. Army surveyors have been up here.